Welcome to the DataCon LA Global Startup Pitch Event. Hello, judges. Hello, startups. Hello, audience members. I'm Randall Chwosky, one of the co-heads of the DataCon LA Global Startup Program. Here we are today for this exciting pitch event. Judges, thanks again for joining us. Just a quick note about the Global Startup Program moving out this year. Jermaine, myself, and Subesh tried to create a program, not that just would attract global startups that were early stage, but also to create a kind of ongoing programmatic ecosystem where we can connect startups into the DataCon LA technical network, as well as startups with mentors and advisors. So we'll be releasing some more information on that after the DataCon LA event next weekend. Again, Randall Chwosky, growth consultant here in Southern California, and just thanks again for joining us. Subesh, can you just say a few words about DataCon LA?
Thank you, Randall, and thank you, Jermaine, for hosting this. So, quick thing, DataCon LA, it's been around for around 10 years now. This is the 10th year running this event. I want to thank all the startups and judges for helping us out, carry out this event. Always glad to see a lot of familiar faces and familiar people back again. Thank you once again, and have a great event.
Awesome. And then Jermaine Louis here, another one of the co-leads of the DataCon Global Startup Program and Pitch Competition. Really excited for all the active participation that we've had from startup applicants, as well as our very diverse panel of judges. So super excited about that. Outside of DataCon, working full-time in private equity and venture capital partnerships over at a company called Sage Intact. But to just jump straight into DataCon in the format of today's startup pitch competition, we do have 7 startups at that kind of pre-seed seed stage, and they will be pitching for 3 minutes. Following the pitch, we'll leave it open for our judges to have a 3-minute Q&A. They'll get down and dirty, drill down all of our founders, ask them all the hard-hitting questions there, and they'll be scoring in real time. And following that, we will be announcing a winner, not at the end of, right after this, but following the closeout of the event, we will be sending out an email to announce the 3 winners, and the winners will be able to present at DataCon LA, which is going to be on August 13th and 14th at USC's campus, and present a keynote. There's a cash prize and some additional goodies mixed into that, and we will certainly be in touch with 3 startup founders who win from this competition. But we'll go ahead and just jump straight into a round of introductions from our judges. Judges, if you could please give a brief background on yourself, the firm you're representing, and perhaps one area of expertise of where you practice. I'll go ahead and just kick things off over to Tatiana to start us off.
Happy to. Hi, everyone. I'm Tatiana Mulry. I'm a general partner at Steamwork Ventures. We invest in software, AI, and fintech that impact wealth, health, or sustainability. It's a $50 million seed stage to Series A fund, and my superpower is fintech.
Awesome. And then I'll go ahead and pass it over to Jason.
Awesome. Yeah, Jason here. I'm an investor at Struck Capital. We are pre-seed and seed software investors based here in LA. We're investing out of our second fund, which is $75 million total. Investor out the US and across industries. Not going to claim to be an expert in any one industry, but we're excited about fintech, vertical software, employment, and yeah, those are some categories we're excited to take a look at.
And I know Struck also just launched their Studio Labs, I believe it's called as well. So another plug that I'll do for you, Jason, if you won't do it yourself. And then I'll go ahead and move on to Paul.
Hi, everyone. I'm Paul Orlando. I think I had last judged at DataCon in person, maybe 2017, but good to be here virtually. I do a couple things. I work at the University of Southern California, teaching in the Entrepreneurship Center, and I also run the Startup Incubator for USC. I've become more of a generalist, but if I have any focus area, it's in building incubator and accelerator programs for other organizations. I've done that a bunch of times. So looking forward to seeing everybody's pitches.
Awesome. And moving on to Nassim.
Hi, it's nice to meet everyone. I'm Naseem, Managing Director, co-founder at Emmeline Ventures. We're a new LA-based fund, 10 million pre-seed seed focus. We invest in female founders, and we're looking for businesses that are helping women manage their health, build their wealth, and live in a cleaner, safer world. So all things femtech, fintech, and sustainability is what our portfolio looks like. Superpower-wise, which I think we didn't get it from the last two. I'll say it's diligence. I really enjoy the process. I get a kick out of looking at spreadsheets and financials. So when I talk to founders, that's where I spend my time. So nice to be here.
And I think when I last met Naseem, the one thing she likes to drill in on from just the financials perspective is all the assumptions behind it.
Yeah, I don't necessarily care as much about the big number. I really want to make sure the assumptions are sound. And so I spend all my time there.
Awesome. And last but not least, Valentina.
Hey everyone, Valentina Rodriguez from Wonder Ventures here. We are an LA-based and LA-focused pre-seed seed fund, looking to back the best founders in LA earlier than anyone else. We're generalists beyond that core geographic focus, so I look at everything, but have spent a large portion of my time over the past year in Web3 and climate, consumer social as well. So that's it from our end. As far as my superpower, I think it would be connecting people, which is probably why I wound up in this seat.
I'm sure there's more reasons than just that, Valentina.
That's a large one.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much to all the judges for being here. And we're going to jump straight into things. Our first startup that we'll be pitching today is eBombo. And from eBombo, we have Mateo. But Mateo, go ahead and share your screen and feel free. Once you start, we'll go ahead and start the timer there.
Perfect. Thank you very much for the intro. Wait a minute.
Did we lose Mateo? There he is again. Okay. Coming back. Mateo coming back.
Sorry for that. Can you hear me well? Perfect. So sorry for that. It's a new laptop and I didn't have like the access to share my screen. So yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. So please allow me to introduce myself. So my name is Mateo Suarez. I am the CEO of eBombo. So we are an HR tech, human resources technology company. So we launched in January of 2021, and we did almost $500,000 in sales the first year. Actually, we've raised funds from some very interesting VCs this year from California, Mexico, and other countries. So yeah, I will start now. So yeah, what we do is basically we help employees to be engaged. So just to put you all guys in context, if you have an engaged team, you're going to have 87% more chances that these employees are going to stay with you. Okay, so that's why we created eBombos, because we know it's very important to keep employees engaged nowadays. So we've created this robust platform that is very, very like powerful and complete. So you have this platform so that you can help employees to be engaged and have a better work environment. So you can enter into eBombo and you can find trainings, onboardings, activities, festive dates. You can play games, you can do icebreakers and more, you know. So basically, this platform is going to help you to improve the engagement and the retention of your organization, okay? So this is the track record we've been having lately. We already have an annualized revenue of almost $1 million. So we're selling right now like $65,000 per month. We are about to reach 200 B2B corporate clients, and we have been trusted by some world-class companies like Cisco, Adidas, Kpis, BBVA, Mafre, Puma, and more. So we also sell to medium and small companies, but I'm just putting those logos because everybody knows those companies. So some of the KPIs we have is that the average ticket that a customer invests in Ebombo per year is 9,000. The ratio of lifetime value CAC is bigger than 10x. We have a conversion rate of 40%. We have a gross margin of 75% of each deal we close. And we have a retention rate of 80% in a 1-year period. We're planning to take that to 85% in the next 2 months. So the market we are in is an intersection between future of work and HR tech. So we're selling to companies with more than 20 employees in LATAM right now and in the future in the USA. So if you multiply 3.5 million companies with more than 20 employees, it's an opportunity. And you multiply that by 9,000, it's an opportunity of $31.5 billion US dollars. So this is basically the go-to-market strategy. This is like basically the amount of companies with more than 20 employees per sector and per industry. So the opportunity of doing this is huge. You can reach to 3.6 million companies. So this is the competitive landscape right here. We're the first movers in LATAM. So the opportunity of doing this in LATAM is huge. There is this company that it's called Mystery. They just raised $18 million at $100 million valuation for their Series A. And the round was led by Griot, that was one of the first Facebook investors. So the vision is to be a super app of HR tech. We plan to expand this all over LATAM in the next months. And after that, we plan to go to the US. So these are the founders that are behind this. My name is Mateo Suarez. I used to be in venture before, and I've been in sales all my life. My brother Santiago, he's an engineer. He's a product manager. And Gonzalo, that is also an engineer. He's a product owner. So we have some top-notch VCs and angel investors that have done.
2 seconds, Mateo.
Oh yeah, thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mateo.
No
And then I'll
worries.
go ahead and, are there any judges that have questions? Don't all jump at once.
I have a question. Hi, it's Nassim. Hi, Mateo. Thanks so much
How
for
you
that.
doing, Nassim? Pleasure
I'm
to
good.
meet
I'm
you.
good. I am curious. What's the, aside from being the first in LATAM, what is the differentiation in the product? What's going to keep another trio of smart people from doing what you're doing in the same market?
Well, first of all, we are like, we're moving fast. We have more than 60 virtual experiences right now in the platform. So basically we have a lot of volume right now, a lot of offer to different companies. Right now, since we are only LATAM, we have a competitive advantage because we understand LATAM culture, that it's completely different than the US culture. So I think that the fact that you can find also like onboardings, trainings, games, festive dates, you can find like a lot of virtual activities that you can do it in one place at the same time, and you can connect all of your workers with this, you know. So I think that basically that is our most competitive advantage, is the fact that you can do a lot of stuff inside the platform at the same time. You know, like let's say you want to do a virtual activity of an hour, you can do 20 minutes of an onboarding, 20 minutes of training, and the other minutes in like games, in presenting new workers. So basically you can do all of this in like literally 1 hour, you know.
Got it. Thank you.
Hey, Mateo.
Hey, how are you? Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you. So you put up that chart of, I guess your focus area is companies with more than 20 people.
Yes.
But I'm just kind of curious. So that's still quite broad. I'm just kind of curious, is there a certain type of business, and you had a number of industries listed, is there a certain type of business that like really needs you more than others? And if you could just also just mention, like, what is that sales cycle like? Like, what does it take to get in the door and then to actually close the sale?
Yes. So first of all, responding to thank you for the question. So first of all, right now we're selling to, one of the cool things about Ebombo is that you don't only get to sell to logistics companies or pharmacies. You know, you can actually sell this to everybody because you need good work environment in literally all the companies in the world. So right now we're selling to education companies, retailers, pharmacies, minings, you know, startups, banks, you know. So we have all kinds of workers and of companies, sorry. So, and also answering to your question, I think this is very interesting because one of the VCs we've just closed is called BDF Ventures. These guys are from San Francisco. And what these guys do is they only invest in B2B companies, okay, in B2B SaaS companies. So they give you an algorithm that allows you to prospect in an automated way. And if you can demonstrate that in X amount of months, the algorithm can get you X amount of meetings, and those meetings you can convert them into sales, then they invest in the company. So they run this algorithm with like 20 companies at the same time. So we were the one that had the best performance, and they have invested in us. So that actually has accelerated us a lot, like the closing time rate. Okay, so we're closing companies very, very fast right now because we're sending like thousands of messages per day, thanks to this algorithm of this VC. So it's quite a good deal. The one we've closed, they are based in San Francisco. So yeah, that's something that I think maybe can reply to the question you had.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Mateo. And for the sake of time, we are moving on to the next startup. So presenting next will be Anuj from ServiceMob.
Thank you, Mateo.
Hi, everyone. Anuj here. I'm just sharing my screen. Just 1 second. Hey there. Can everyone see my screen okay? And hear it? All right, perfect. And I guess we'll get going right now. So my name is Anuj Bala. I'm the founder and CEO of ServiceMob. We do high resolution customer service analytics. Fun topic. So customer service is terrible. It's, probably goes without saying. We could probably relate to this. This has probably been one of us in the last day, week, month, or year. Long hold times, bad elevator music, chatbots that don't, necessarily understand what you want. The state of customer service, despite the massive investment in this space, is generally terrible. That said, we know that bad customer service is really bad for business. Churning customers, unproductive agents, exploding operational expenses, especially in the pandemic, customer demand for service has gone up, while labor supply, especially in the great resignation, as we like to call it, is affecting the labor supply and the available bodies that are able to actually handle customer service. So this is a huge problem for companies right now. The big problem, though, is that analytics generally is failing companies. They think that their customer service is better than it actually is. And the reason why is because of the massive fragmentation of all the different systems that make the modern customer service ecosystem work. As a result, you get partial information, and oftentimes you don't get the full picture. And that rude awakening is really happening to companies right now as they see customers leave and also their employees burn out. The big problem is bad data. So bad data is bad customer service. That means the wrong metrics, incomplete data, and inaccessible analytics that are really siloed across all these fragmented solutions that make modern customer service work. What ServiceMob does is we actually measure customer service with precision. We're a cloud-based analytics platform for the customer service industry that displays the true performance level of the operation. And how we do that is really providing metrics that matter. We actually provide radical transparency all the way down to the agent level, so agents can know their own metrics in service, just like salespeople know their own metrics in sales. And finally, as a result of that, you can get better at providing service by providing those targets and metrics, especially in a world that is a lot of work from home.
30 seconds, Anuj.
Our solution actually stitches together all those data sources that make customer service work into a coherent solution. And we deliver results. This is a quote from Ara Medesian, CEO of Service Titan. We saved over $44 million for our clients today just by improving productivity and reducing contact rate. Market size is huge. And we have a lot of great customers already doing over 530K this year since our launch in Q4 of 21. Projected over 1.3 this year with a pipeline of over 5 million. We're an awesome team that really comes from the service world of consulting. We embed our expertise into this world so that we could give companies and allow them to see the metrics and get the customer service that their end customers and consumers really deserve.
Thank you, Anuj. 3 minutes is quick.
Shark Tank here. All right, and we'll open up for Q&A from our judges.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, maybe I had a quick question on the last slide. Is CSO, is that Chief Sales Officer, Chief Strategy Officer, and who's building the software on the team? Do you have like a tech lead or a CTO or?
Yeah, we're actually a team of about 15 people. We have a CTO. He actually was one of the founding team of freecreditreport.com. So we're based in Orange County. So he was a senior architect at Experian, which eventually, became that came from freecreditreport.com and kind of got rolled into Experian over time. And he managed over 200 engineers while he was there at Experian for well over 15 years. CSO is our Chief Strategy Officer. That's Marcel Barrera. Worked under me at Accenture and Deloitte while I was running the service analytics practice at Accenture, building analytics for massive companies, AT&T, Wells Fargo, Google, Microsoft, large companies, both in the US and across the globe. And by the way, Marcel also is our target customer. So, he actually ran contact centers. He is an operational beast. He's run contact centers up to 1,000 agents and has helped transform, companies that have even up to 40 or 50,000 agents.
Thanks for that. Hi, Anuj. I'm curious what the sales cycle is and then the implementation cycle. Like, how do you get them to customer success?
Sure. Yeah, our sales cycle is generally 3 to 6 months. So, generally what we have to do is, get those introductory meetings. We're generally selling through the COO organization. So customer service, a VP of customer service generally reports up to the COO. Sometimes though, with smaller companies and growth stage companies, this is very much of interest to the CEO and CFO. And generally we're often called in by CFOs and CEOs because the costs are exploding. Our first customer was Service Tie-In. They're a unicorn based out of Glendale. And that was really the CEO and CFO that said, our cost for customer service is going up. We don't have the visibility. We need a platform to have visibility at the front line. They looked in the market, could not find something to do this other than consulting companies that would, need a few $1 million to wake up in the morning. And that's when we got the call to build this platform, and we own that software, and we've been taking it to market since the beginning of this year.
Awesome. And I think there's one last question from Paul and Anuj, if you can answer in 2 sentences.
Quick question, and I think it was the Service Titan little case study. So you're showing this 10 to 15% cost savings, but I'm just curious, that seems like it might be small compared to the increased productivity, greater LTV that you could help generate for the client. So just interested, do you see any advanced metrics that you see about that?
Yes, we see improvement in what we call post-interaction churn. So 60% of churn is really due to service. And as a result, as you improve service, as you improve resolution, we actually see top line operational income improvements just based on improved retention as a result of better service. And that number doesn't include that 10 to 15% is really OpEx reduction. There's ancillary benefits, as you just mentioned, for OpEx improvement through retention.
Awesome. Thank you, Anuj. And we're going to move on to our next startup. We have Aware Health, and presenting is Dr. Heidi Oha. Floor is yours.
Hi, I'm Dr. Heidi Oja, CEO of Aware Health. We save employers millions of dollars each year by avoiding orthopedic surgeries for muscle and joint pain. Over $600 billion is spent on orthopedic conditions, and the most costly are surgeries, like surgeries of the spine, wrists like carpal tunnel, and more like joint replacements. In fact, it's the #1 expense after payroll for self-insured employers who pay for all of their healthcare bills out of pocket. But the truth is, 95% of these elective surgeries are no more effective than doing nothing. How do I know this? I've been a clinician in this space for 18 years. I'm now the top cited researcher in the world on this topic, and I'm joined by my co-founder, Jim Jenkins, who worked at AliveCore, led their engineering team, and built an FDA-regulated mobile device. Together, we've developed a better way to address these pain issues, so we started Aware Health. The app we built helps our expert clinicians to give same-day care. Here's how it works. The employee goes to our telehealth platform to schedule. The employee sees a live orthopedic specialist who uses a 3D model to explain their diagnosis. 97% of the time, the diagnosis can be determined without x-rays or MRIs. The clinician creates a customized plan for the employee from hundreds of videos we created on our app. The treatment plan arrives on her phone. She gets text reminders. She gets better faster, decreases lost work time by 10x, and her employer doesn't pay for a costly surgery. Our platform provides a human experience that scales with only one clinician needed per 3,000 paid members. We've tripled our enterprise customers in the last 90 days, are in talks with Kaiser and Anthem insurance plans, and do pilots, and just received 2 additional LOIs last week. We saved our first customer, Staywell, $2 million over 1 year, and they renewed with us. Our total market is massive, and our beachhead is desk workers of small to medium businesses, still a $13 billion market. A little fun fact, sitting is much more dangerous than moving. We charge employers a monthly subscription per covered life. Our actual revenue is shown, and based on our growth, we anticipate reaching over 100 million in just 4 years. Since just last year, we have over 2,000 paid members, $240,000 ARR, and over $10 million of sales in our pipeline. There are other players, but they have less than 1% of the market. We're the only ones who provide a same-day expert clinician at scale. We prevent chronic pain versus treating it, and finally, save the employer more than double our competitors. At Aware Health, our mission is to ensure low-risk employees don't become high risk. Help us free millions of people from unnecessary surgeries. We'd love to meet with you. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you, Heidi. And sorry for mispronouncing the last name, and appreciate the fun fact as I'm standing.
I go by different versions.
Awesome. Well, I'll go ahead and open it up for questions from judges. It looks like Tatiana came off mute. Go ahead.
Hi there. I'd love to be standing to ask this question. Do you see other opportunities to expand to different types of challenges, health challenges in the workplace with this similar model?
Absolutely. Right now, we kind of bridge physical and mental health. So that's a huge bonus for the employers because mental health is in such high demand right now. So we have an expert clinician that meets over live video one-on-one. And when mental health cases get out of our scope, we refer on to a psychologist, but that's been a huge value add for our employers. And because we're a silo, we can easily become we're a vertical, so we can be integrated in a horizontal solution or be acquired by others in our market like Kindred Sword, because we're focused on upfront diagnosis. So they don't do that and they could plug us into their solution.
And Nassim, I believe you had your hand raised.
Yeah, thank you. Hi, thanks, Heidi. That was great. I appreciate the smoothness of the pitch. It was really nice. Question for you. What does this become when it grows up? What does the exit look like? Is there a natural buyer for what you're building? Do you IPO? Like, what's your vision for where this goes as it gets bigger?
Yeah, I really have a mission of making healthcare about health instead of it being for profit, because there's so many patients I've had who've had 11 surgeries and are scheduled for their 12th knee surgery. It's like, if the first 11 didn't work, why would the 12th work? And so surgeries are reimbursed really well in the insurance-based system. And it's really important to me that we make this about the patient and their health. And so we're focused on employees and we're focused on employees' health. And I want to be in this company long enough to really flip the system and insert ourselves before the insurance-based system to give them better quality care at lower cost. Through a direct subscription model with the employer. So I think that my vision is, if I can do that across 5 years, and then we can easily be integrated into a horizontal solution or even a capitated model, like we're in talks with Kaiser right now, then that's my vision, so that we can kind of plug our solution into an existing solution.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions from judges?
Time for one more.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you so much, Heidi.
Thanks for your
And
time.
up next, our next presenting startup is Freefuse. And we have Mike Liu coming up.
Second. Sorry about that, Jermaine.
Can everybody hear me? Sorry,
Yep,
give me
we
one
sure can.
second. Oh, my video was off. Give me 1 second here. Cool.
For those that were joining potentially in the attendees, as Mike gets set here, remember it's a 3-minute pitch followed by a 3-minute Q&A. Give a 30-second warning. And Mike, whenever you're ready, we'll start the time.
You got it. Well, hi, everyone. I'm Mike Liu, the founder and CEO of Freefuse, the first ever choose your own adventure experience for professional development. So who here has gone through an online video training in the last 2 years? I'll bet it was pretty bad. With the new normal of work from home, the way we used to deliver these trainings in person just doesn't adapt to the current online world. Inefficient training leads to workforce frustration, costing opportunity and employee morale. I should know. I led trainings at my last job and everybody hated it. To solve this growing complex problem that is plaguing all companies embracing work from home, we created Freefuse. Designed for corporate trainers and learning and development professionals, our AI-based platform automatically segments video tutorials into bite-sized modules that are easy to understand. To simplify the creation process, we automated workflows by obtaining metadata from video clips to organize them into dynamic and personalized content trees. Each time a video is processed, the Freefuse system learns a speaker's cadence to better understand where to cut in the future. Once users sign up, we offer 3 tiers with increasing access to features. Here, businesses can create, maintain, and transform linear video into our choice-based model, all while tracking engagement analytics as well. In 2022, we've produced 10x growth in recurring revenue and customer accounts. We expect to continue growing at a similar rate as we add more sales staff in Q3 and improve the user experience for our customers. So far, outbound sales and strategic partnerships have fueled our growth. We'll add paid advertising and community building this quarter to further increase our customer acquisition efforts. From our initial target market, we see an excellent opportunity to strengthen our position in the US market with training-focused SMBs and enterprise learning and development. As more companies look to engage their remote workforce using video as their preferred communication method, we'll be able to continue our trajectory into 2023 and beyond. Now, there are a variety of video solutions available, but there's nothing that combines the ability to create decision-based branching scenarios in a simple, easy to use, and friendly package with automated workflows to reduce the time it takes busy professionals to create content. Once we've been able to get a strong foothold in learning focused use cases, Freefuse will focus on other markets which can benefit from more adaptive video experiences. Last, our team has worked at Mindshare LA, the UN, large healthcare companies, and Texas A&M. Our decades of software development, data science, video, and teaching experience allows us to know our market and build for their needs. So we hope you join us as we help learning professionals adapt to the new normal every day. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Michael. We'll open it up to judges if there are any questions.
Sure, yeah, happy to kick things off. In terms of the buyer for this, is this coming from HR, from L&D? Would be curious who's making kind of that purchasing decision here.
Yeah, so what we've actually dealt with is mostly HR. So they've primarily been the buyers for it. Now, sometimes actually the learning and development folks can be a decision maker as well. But for the most part, we've seen that, the HR folks are actually the ones making the buying decision.
Related question, content development. A lot of the learning solutions, especially around trainings, typically it's a full package. It's content and the vehicle that you watch that content in. Are you partnered with anyone on content development, or are the teams you're selling it into, are they doing that themselves and feeding it into the platform? How does that part of the problem solving work for customers?
Yeah, certainly. So what we've cultivated in the last few months is actually a bunch of strategic partnerships. Some of them actually are with content suppliers where we can actually go and outsource that to another company. They can go ahead and produce the content. There's also third-party instructional design companies that actually specialize in creating content for their enterprise clients. So we actually introduced this to those companies. They actually partnered with us to even recommend us as a software to use in, for their clients, the work that they need from those companies as well. And so what we've done is actually utilize them and leverage their ability to create the content rather than actually having us do it ourselves.
Okay, so the end customer has to have a relationship then with both parties, content here and then platform with you. Is that fair?
Not always, because sometimes they actually have internal content teams. That's actually
Okay.
what we've seen. So for example, there's been companies that have a certain amount of people assigned to developing the video content. And so we've actually just, worked with them, to help them figure out how to get integrated into our system. And then it's, really easy, just plug and play, and the system's really easy to use.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right, any other questions for Michael?
Is there any hope for the reams of Zoom lectures that are sitting on all the course platforms to be put into your platform?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I'm sure we've all seen a, kind of Zoom video that's masquerading as a lecture these days. And so what we actually are able to do is put that Zoom video through our system and automatically segment it into that tree structure. So it's pretty much just as easy as one click. You just put it in our system. It gets done, relative to how long the video is.
Awesome. Thank you, Freefuse and Mike. We're going to move on to our next startup. It's going to be Truesource, and presenting from Truesource, we have Zoltan.
Hi, it's actually Truesource, but can you guys hear me?
Typo on our back end, but Zoltan, yeah, we can hear you, and go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So let me just put this into slideshow here, and here we go. So thank you, everybody. My name is Zoltan Perestegi, and I'm the co-founder and chief business officer of Truesource, a self-serve monetization platform for data providers. We're addressing a growing $200 to $700 billion US market, data monetization market, with a 30 billion opportunity. Our first target is actually data providers, who are companies involved in acquiring, repackaging, and then reselling data. Why we're targeting these companies is because they're already selling data, so we can actually very easily introduce our offering to them. But what do? We actually create a new way for data providers to generate more revenues. What this means is we created self-serve applications for them that they can integrate right into their website so as to sell data in an automated fashion. What this means is basically like Shopify for data providers. This way, they have full control over their processes, their sales process and analytics. They don't need to involve manual labor in the sales process and data engineering. And they keep a direct relationship with their buyers as compared to working with data marketplaces or data brokers. And for the buyers, it's a much better online seamless experience as we're all used to in e-commerce. We're in the market competing with data marketplaces, and we have one direct competitor called Narrative. But our platform, our key differentiators is that our platform is data provider focused. We offer way more flexible monetization offers or options for our providers, and our UI and UX for both the sellers and the buyers is much better than theirs. Our revenue model consists of two pillars. First, we have platform fee it's a SaaS model basically that our data sellers, data providers pay. And we also take a revenue share, which is based on the revenue that they make through our platform. We're already at a $57,000 ARR at this point. We only started selling 2 months ago. And only with the platform fees, because that's usually part of ARR, we're planning to be above $1 million by this time next year. If we add on the revenue share percentages, which is based on our best estimations, is going to be about 5 times as much, we can easily reach $5 million revenue by this time next year. But where we're going, we're actually creating the home for data, which is missing. People are sharing data sets in GitHub repositories. So that's our long-term vision. Right now, we're building a technology stack for data providers, after which we're actually capturing transactional data. So we'll have an unfair advantage to build a data marketplace. After building the data marketplace and creating distribution for our providers, we will connect these individual data sets into what we call the world's database, and we will create the home for data and create data network effects to establish a moat from any other companies who want to create this in the future.
Zoltan, you have 15 seconds.
We have an all-star founding team, 4 ex-Googlers and engineers from other fine companies. And we've raised a pre-seed round of $1.1 million in the last summer. We're currently raising $4 million in our seed round. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you, Zoltan, and correction on Truesource there. And I'll go ahead and open it up for questions from the judges.
And I know Subesh has a question. If anyone is wants to hold back, Subesh, whenever you want, you can ask, but judges as well.
I'll let the judges go first. If we have time, I'll ask. It's no big deal.
Everybody's speechless.
Subesh is.
I'm speechless. Hi, Zoltan. How are you?
Hi,
What does your sales cycle look like? And why are these companies so interested? And especially, it's a pretty steep platform fee. They have to believe they're going to be able to sell more data. So, what's the sales pitch?
So it's a business-led sales. Basically, we're pitching the extra revenue and the control and the freed up resources that they can spend on data engineering. The sales cycle is pretty fast, I have to say, because it's a problem that we discovered during our interviews. So it's an existing problem that they don't have resources to build the self-serve applications themselves. We're selling to the lower end of the mid-market, so our average customer revenue is starting from $2 to about $20 million. This is also why we're setting the platform fee at a quite high rate that they can afford this. This is also a qualifier for us to be spending our sales time on companies who are actually planning to monetize in the hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars.
And curious how you may be tracking and attributing ROI directly in the product and that revenue acceleration. How are you doing that?
So everybody's starting from zero on the platform. So that it's pretty easy for right now to track it. And we don't have enough historical data at this point to say how does that change over time. But we provide full analytics to our customers. So the data providers get full analytics into who's buying and for how much. So they can always track what's happening through our platform.
Subesh, last question.
Sure. So just quickly, thank you for sharing that, Zoltan. One of the questions I have with data privacy being a big issue and challenge, how do you handle in the challenges around that? If someone asks you to remove data, what is your current process to exclude or encrypt or remove specific data set based on data privacy rules?
Yes, so we take privacy very seriously, and for now, for the first part of our existence, we actually do not deal with PII for that reason. And after our fundraise, we actually will grow some muscles to hire some lawyers who will create the necessary policies that are needed for us to deal with PII.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Zoltan. And we're going to move right on to our next startup. I believe it's pronounced Griot or Griot. And from there, we have Sean Miller. feel free to correct me.
It's Griot. It's a French word for a bard. So I was, my attempt at being creative there.
3-minute pitch followed by 3-minute Q&A. Sean, we'll give you a 30-second warning and your time starts whenever you're ready.
All right. I'm just bringing the screen up here. Share screen. All right. Let me make it full. Sorry, everyone. Okay, that looks full screen, right? All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Sean Miller. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Griot. So today, if any of you have worked with skilled trades, one thing we've noticed over the past couple of years is 3 major problems. First, the skilled trades today, when they communicate, they tend to rely on phone calls, which is great. There's this community of knowledge out there, but phone calls aren't very visual, which means they're not easy to help someone or efficient to help someone in the moment, nor do those phone calls help capture the tribal knowledge. You pretty much help someone in the moment, and then everything, whatever they shared with you disappears in the ether. Hopefully you retain it, but the reality is all of us don't retain everything we've learned in the past. And while there's some tools out there that help turn communication to become more visual, like the tool we're using today, these tools are typically designed for office staff and not blue-collar workers working out in the field. Griot's goal is to become the Slack for skilled trades. We want to help field techs better collaborate in the moment and capture tribal knowledge from those moments. So, we want to first turn that communication into a visual communication, right? So make it easy for anyone in the organization or outside the organization, such as with the customer, to have a visual call regardless of what device they're on, whether it be an iOS device, Android device, or desktop computer. We also want to make it easy for them to capture that tribal knowledge, organize it, and make it easy to share across their organization so everyone can learn from one another's mistakes or opportunities. And last, we want to make this tool built for skilled trades. So a tool that has a UI for the way they want to work and also respects the way of how they work, such as a lot of communication tools today rely on email addresses to register and use. Most skilled trade workers don't have a company email address, right? So how do you get them registered and identified on a system? So today, there's not really a market for a unified communication tool for skilled trades. We're really trying to create this market, but we think we have a very large group of customers out there to serve with 11 million skilled trades total in the US today. Now, for our initial focus, we're focusing on the skilled trades that we like to call lone workers. So not job site construction, but think of HVAC, plumbing, electricians, men and women who go out by themselves typically to do work. And sort of parallel or show some examples of how powerful communication would be. The first 2 names here on the slide are communication tools that were built for the office tech stack. And you can see the value they created by helping simplify communication. And then when you think of the skilled trade space, their tech stack is being built out. An example of ServiceTitan and just the amount of money they've spent building out that tech stack for skilled trades. You can see there's both a need on the skilled trade side for a very valuable tool with communication.
Sean, you got about 20 seconds.
Cool. So why now? There's a couple things going on. First, work has become more complex. And second, you have an aging out of the workforce. So we wanted to get out there, build a tool that, again, is simple and easy to work with, doesn't require them to change their workflows. We had really good interest in our preview period. We have over 75 user groups using this today. And we have a team that has over 15 years of experience working with technology and skilled trades.
Awesome. Thank you, Sean. Just in the nick of time.
Yeah.
And opening it up for questions from judges.
I'll go. Hi, Sean. Thanks so much. I'm curious, can you speak a little bit about business model? Is it a license? Is it a subscription? Is it per user? How are you thinking about it?
Yeah, it is a SaaS business model. So we're charging $5 per user per month today. I sort of went over a little bit quick, but the reason we chose that was it was a very simple price. It was competitive within Slack and other communication tools, but for a skilled trades house, it was a price that was very simple for them to calculate an ROI and not lose. Yeah, we wanted to make it easy for them to make a decision and go forward and not lose them in trying to calculate the return they'll get from something.
Right. Okay. Yep. Makes sense.
As far as go to market, what's kind of the strategy for continuing to attract and onboard your initial users?
Yes, so we think we can do both the top down and bottom up. Some of those 75 users we have today are top down, i.e. larger enterprises that I had in my network and I knew someone at and reached out to, but also started doing some Google ads and social ads in early May, just to show that we can also reach that long tail of 1 million small business trades out there.
Awesome. Any other questions? All right. Thank you so much, Sean.
Sean.
All right. And bringing us home, we have Unimart, and Shayak is going to be presenting.
Slow on this one here. Hi, Shayak, how are you?
Hi guys, can you hear me now?
Yep, we got you. 3-minute pitch followed by 3-minute Q&A. And
Sorry, just a second. Just wanted to give a preamble that I've got a pretty bad dental surgery done. So just in case you aren't able to understand what I'm speaking, apologies in advance. Yeah, please continue. Sorry.
No, you got it that, and I'll give you a 30-second warning, but whenever you're ready, you can start and we'll start the time.
Okay, sharing my screen. Oh, okay. Can you guys see my screen? Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Shayak, CEO and founder of Unimart. When Marco Polo started in 1271 to get spices and silk from China, it took him 24 years. Last week, when my wife bought a dress, it got delivered from India to a house in Los Angeles, just about 4 days. What most people don't realize that 1 in 5 orders are already cross-border. However, only 7% of the brands have started selling cross-border, and 35% could actually grow their revenues 2 to 3 times if they figured out how. Most customers today actually shop on multiple channels. Brands know this, and they're trying to sell on as many channels of sale as possible. Only 2% of the merchants on Amazon drive more than 90% of the revenues. What exactly happens to the remaining 90%? Result? While the e-commerce market in the US is big, it's dominated by 2 major players. Globally, it's about 10 times bigger and very highly diversified. To take advantage of this, most large companies have shifted to selling global. Most mid and small-sized brands know that there is demand out there, but they don't know how to figure out localization, managing customer expectations, etc. To add just 1 new channel of sale, a brand needs to spend about $100,000 a year and hire a technology team. This is because it is so complex. If you're selling only on Amazon, they would figure all this out for you. But when you're selling on multiple channels of sales, it's on you to figure out each one of these solutions. And that's why success rates are as low as 2 to 5%. But by not selling on these channels, brands are leaving more than $90 billion a year in untapped revenues.
1 minute, Shai.
Enter Unimart. We provide a one-stop solution to unleash the full potential of global commerce for brands. We have 70 key partners, e-commerce marketplaces, web stores, logistics, and payment companies. We have built one of the most complete tech stacks that you will see. Everything from operations and supply chain to shipping, marketing, and localization. Without our AI, we would not be able to drive the revenues and really make a difference for our customers. This is a $100 billion TAM with 65,000 brands in the US alone. And unlike our competitors, we focus more on generating revenue, and are the only platform that enables merchants to succeed on global omnichannel retail. We've got 240 businesses using our platform, generating $17 million in GMV. One of the perfect teams to do this. In my last role at Rocket, I was the MD of cross-border e-commerce and helped thousands of brands to scale global. Unimart's founders and management have led global brands, e-commerce platforms, businesses, etc. We are guided and mentored by industry leaders from Google, Disney, Mattel, Netflix, etc., and have been invested in by folks who have built some of the biggest e-commerce businesses in the world, and they believe that we are the best solution to the problem that they have faced. We are a Techstars and Alchemist alumni, and INSEAD wrote case studies about us. Only two things matter in business: customers and revenues. We help brands grow both. Please reach out to me to learn more.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Shayak. And I'll go ahead and again open it up for judges.
Are those direct integrations into all the e-commerce and logistics platforms, or how should I think about like the overall logistics or integration, kind of ecosystem that you've built out?
They're direct integrations. We built out something called an iPaaS, which allows us to integrate new platforms in a very, very short amount of time. In fact, we are opening it out as a pass to our customers now so that they can integrate their own platforms on their own, and they don't need to depend on us for doing the integrations.
Hello, Shayak. You're very brave after your dental surgery. What is your process for attracting new customers to this platform? How do they react to the sales pitch, and how long does it take to get them set up?
Since we're targeting only mid to enterprise customers, a typical sales cycle is about 2 months. It takes about less than 2 to 3 weeks for them to get started, unless they want major customizations. Like I said, we are launching a new pass, which enables the merchants to do a complete onboarding on their own. In fact, even in large brand use cases, we are seeing our stochastic models help them to onboard really, really fast. So I'd say a typical sales cycle 2 months or less, and a typical onboarding about 2 weeks, roughly. Gives them access to 100 plus countries, just FYI.
Any other questions?
I have
Go ahead,
one more. Yeah, no worries. If you could just one more time, the differentiation versus the other global commerce platforms, and then I'm assuming consumers are then shopping on the Unimart directly, or is it? I'm just trying to make sure I understand where it fits and how it's.
Okay, so we're not a channel of sale. We are an operating system for your business. You have all the shipping, the marketing, the supply chain, and everything in it. And we integrate into every channel. It could be B2B, retail, e-commerce, social commerce. They're all plugged into a platform. So you could use our platform to manage your sales in the US, globally, whatever you want to do. And our competitors are primarily focused on helping you manage your operations if you already have orders. Whereas what we are focused on is taking the entire bull by the horn and help you solve the whole problem from a single platform. Like we built 20 AI solutions that help you to generate more revenues and drive sales across the world, something that nobody else in the world can do. For example, we can do your whole cataloging if you just give us your image and your title. Like we can create your keywords, your description, your pricing, optimize everything across all channels from just those 2 data points. So that's the level of AI, etc., that we built to help grow our customers' businesses.
Got it. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Shayak, and that'll conclude the last pitch. I'm gonna move you back to attendee. Just a quick wrap here. Thanks everybody who's been watching. Thanks to the judges, thanks to the startups. All the judges were scoring in real time. And now we've got a request before we kind of end the event. Just want to give a shout out to DataCon LA, Subhash D'Souza, who's been spearheading this event, and a very large global technical community for over 10 years. And of course, my partner in crime and really the one who made it all happen, Jermaine Louis. So thank you to Jermaine. And with that, I think we could stop recording before I make my final announcement to the panelists.
And the last thing I'll say for folks who are interested in getting involved, whether you're looking for startups to advise, mentor, or perhaps even invest in, feel free to visit dataconlastartup.com, and all of the latest information will be on there. And we'll go ahead and take it from there. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining.
Cool.